Gatorade studies the best athletes to make the world's #1 sports drink. You fuel us, we fuel you. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Woohoo! Oh yeah, oh yeah. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to Sports Locked and Loaded. Woo! That's right, it's a beautiful morning for those of you not used to it. I know that you're used to our 6 p.m. show, but for this very special show, we're going 8 a.m. because we have a very special guest all the way from Miami, Florida, USA. Wow. So again, I say good morning, all sports fans. Thank you for tuning in or watching Sports Locked and Loaded. Chicky Ray is here, still broadcasting live from Cubao, Quezon City. And this is our 8th episode of Season 2, our 43rd episode overall for Sports Locked and Loaded since we started in May of 2020. And I'd like to say thank you, by the way, to Gatorade, of course, Mr. Mikey Rosales. Maraming salamat po. Miss Melay Javier, thank you very much. Marsha Guillermo, thank you very much for always believing and supporting Sports Locked and Loaded. We really appreciate you guys, and definitely we are one with you in making sure that everyone will get inspired in living a healthy lifestyle, diba? That's really the and staying hydrated and with all the electrolytes and of course the nutrition that Gatorade gives. So thank you very much, Sir Mikey, Miss Melay, and Marcia. Would like to remind all our viewers, if you're watching us right now, make sure that you make your presence felt in the comment section down low. Would love to hear from you. If you want a special shout out from our special guest from Miami and our special guest as well from the Philippines, make your presence felt, okay? Saying hello as well to our friends from Crossrope USA. Thank you. Crossrope USA for watching. Our friends from Miami, from Florida, if the followers of our special guest, if you're watching, thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening there. Saying hello to my family all the way from Port St. Lucie. Right, I think that's right smack in the middle of Orlando and Miami. Thank you for watching as well. Saying hello to all the followers of JumpfestPH. Woo! There's followers of PJRC. Thank you for watching as well. For those who won't be able to catch this live, all right, tell your friends this will be on the Facebook page of Sports Locked and Loaded Forever, so they can catch it at a later time. And all jump rope enthusiasts of all levels, all gender, all ages, all communities here and outside the Philippines, good morning to all of you. Okay, so we'll jump into our guests already. I'd like to introduce our special guests for today. Originally, I planned to bring in the lady first. No, Direk, I will bring in the gentleman first and then our special guest from Miami, Florida. So we'll start with this gentleman. He is the brains behind JumpfestPH, the man behind My Daily Collagen, and the man behind many other endeavors, all right, that involves sports and multi-sport in general. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring into the show Mr. Oliver Salas, Mr. JumpfestPH himself. Hello, Oliver.
Hi, Kiki.
Yeah. Good morning. Okay, before we say our hellos to each other, I'd like to bring in our main guest for our show today, all the way from Miami, Florida. She is also known as the International Jump Leader, as coined by JumpfestPH. She is the Jump Rope Babe. We call her the beautiful Julie. Hey, Julie. There we have it, our jump rope babe, Julie. Woohoo!
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, Julie. Thank you for joining us. I know it's 8 p.m. there in Miami. By the way, thank you to Direct Nick for reminding me about that very nice video intro for our special guest. I know it's 8 p.m. there, Julie, and it's 8 a.m. here in Manila. And thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Julie, for joining our 43rd episode. Imagine we've been here since May, and we hope that we continue inspiring people. Before we dive into our in the meat of our discussion, which is jump for joy, the sport or the athlete or the fitness activity of jump rope. Um, I call this first part of our show the reality check. Oliver, remove your hat as the man of JumpfestPH. PH. Julie, remove your hat first as the jump rope babe. I want to check on you guys. How are things doing? I know, Oliver, I'll start with Julie because she's in Miami. Julie, how are things there in Miami, Florida? How are things for you and for the people there in the midst of the pandemic right now?
Yeah, so we've actually been very lucky that everything here is pretty much open. However, the cases are rising, so it is a little alarming. We have to be extra careful. There's always, the people that care a little bit more than other people about, especially about wearing masks and vaccines. So there's always that going on. But overall, everything is good. Seems like life is a little bit back to normal. People are going out. Um, Everyone's working, going into the office. So
Mhm.
things are looking good for like here, thankfully. So we're blessed.
Well, nice to hear that you guys are trying to get back or trying to go back to the old normal, have some sense of normalcy. But you mentioned that cases are rising again, and I hope that things will only get better, right?
Yeah.
No joke, really, what we're in right now.
Yeah.
And I guess, Julie, what's happening in Miami in your area right now? Nothing different as what's happening here in the Philippines. I'd like to go to Oliver. Oliver, I know you're in Bulacan right now, right? Up north of Manila.
Yes.
Kumusta dyan? How are things there in your area, Oliver?
Well, things are. I mean, people are getting used to lockdown. So lockdown and then ECQ, then some moderate lockdown. So I guess people here are now used to this kind of stuff. So they know how to behave or how to attack the situation positively. So right now we're okay. We're used to this kind of new normal thing.
Nice to hear that. Julie, if you noticed, Oliver mentioned some letters there. He said ECQ. We're in an enhanced community quarantine. That is the strictest form of lockdown here in Manila, or in the greater area of the Philippines, right? And
The bubble.
tomorrow we'll be shifting to a moderate enhanced community quarantine. So imagine, Julie, we're not allowed really to go out and exercise. So this show is really nice because people who haven't really picked up a skip rope would be able to learn a thing or two or a lot from you as we talk about your journey. So, Oliver, if you don't mind, I'll put you in the virtual background first or virtual backstage first, right? As
Sure.
we chat with Julie and would like to find out more about her. So, thank you, Oliver. So, Julie, again, nice to have you here. A lot of people, when they found out that I'll be pulling you in as a special guest for our 43rd episode, they were asking, can you ask her how, I mean, her roots, where she came from, how did she suddenly pop up in the social media world, and all of a sudden started inspiring everyone in the jump rope community. So I'll go straight to that. Who is Julie? May you share with us a little background on the lovely lady behind Jump Camp, Julie? Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I'm originally from Colombia, and from a small city called Pereira. When you hear Colombia, you usually hear about the big cities like Bogota, Cali, Medellin. So when people ask me where I'm from, they don't really know. I'd say it's probably like the fourth largest city. It's really small, but it's got everything you need, and it's come a long way. I was brought to the United States, to Long Island, New York, when I was 9 years old. I didn't speak any English, so I had to learn while I was in school. And that was a difficult time for me because being a child in school, you know, you get bullied a lot, especially when you don't know the language. So I was scared of the kids, you know, making fun of me and my accent as I was learning the language. So I think I made it a point to try to learn it as good as I could and to try to minimize any accent because I didn't want the kids to make fun of me. Which overall kind of helped me in the end because everyone says I speak very good English, thankfully. And then I was in Long Island until I was about 20 years old, and then I moved to Miami to go to college at the University of Miami.
Oh, nice.
I studied psychology for my bachelor's and graduated in 2013. And then I love Miami so much, I decided to come back for my master's. So I did a master's in international business, and I graduated now almost 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so now I've just been working full time for about 4 years now. And then I started jumping rope 2 years ago, a little bit more than 2 years ago.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I just kind of picked it up because I felt that it was time for me to get active. I wasn't really happy with what I looked like during that time, and I decided I needed to do something. And since I tried everything else, decided to give jumping rope a try. And here I am 2 years later now doing the show, and I would have never thought, you know, I'd be here. So really awesome.
You mentioned that when you hit Long Island in New York, the kids were they were making fun of your accent. Little did they know that when they got older, that accent of yours is actually a beautiful accent. And I'd like to ask, is it okay if you say good morning to the Filipinos in your native language? Can you still speak in
Spanish.
Colombian? Yeah, in Spanish, please.
So, buenos días, ¿cómo están todos? Espero que todos estén muy bien. Muy contenta de estar aquí con ustedes.
We love that accent. So, so nice that you still speak Spanish. But you went to Long Island. You said 9 years old, right? And you stayed there. Any siblings? Only child?
An only child, no siblings, no. And
No
that
siblings.
was actually like a big part too. Was that when I was in Colombia, I grew up very closely with like two of my girl cousins, and we were like sisters, like the three of us. But then when my parents brought me here, I was obviously separated from them and like my friends too in the neighborhood. So it got lonely, I think. And I was like so young, but I didn't really know or how to process anything. I would just come home and cry. But my parents got me through it, and I'm really happy that I was able to stay and get here today.
Fantastic. And after that, you said you loved Florida so much, you went back to finish or to study there. And so, what do you do now? Is it okay if you share with us your profession? What keeps you
Yeah.
busy on a daily basis?
So I work in supply chain, and I am part of the customer care group. So they do like exporting for L'Oreal travel retail. So we focus on supplying duty-free products. So anything to like the airports, cruises, airlines, anything like that. And as the local business expert for my team, I'm in charge of like doing testing, trainings, if there's anything, like any change management, I'm like leading the team through the changes, notifying them of new processes, and yeah, stuff like that. I work very closely with IT and SAP. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's just like the software that we use, a little technical.
I was nodding my head and pretending that I understood all those letters that you mentioned, but it sounds so technical. But in any case, a quick shout out. We got some viewers of us giving their comments. Ronnie Ronnie Tiope, all the way from, if I'm not mistaken, Pampanga, I think, and Shula. Wow, Shula's here as well. And oh, this is nice. Jason King Tan saying hello to all of us. He's saying hello to you, Julie, as well.
Hi,
Thank
Jason.
you.
Hi,
Hi,
Sheila.
Jason. Thank you. Spread the word. We got the lovely Julie here. Um, I got a text here from my friend asking, were you ever offered before to be a TV personality? Because they're saying that you look very beautiful, lovely on the screen. And did you ever get offers to to
Thank
be
you. No,
a brand ambassador?
no, I'm actually shy, like on camera. It's something that I don't really feel comfortable with, and even like on my page, I don't do a lot of lives or like stories of my voice and my face because I am a little bit shy. But it's something that I'm trying to work on and to challenge myself. So that's why I thought this is a good opportunity for me just to get out there and do it.
So thank you for allowing us to give you that platform. And but I think you're a natural. People will agree you're a natural in front of the camera. Okay. So now at least we know the roots behind Julie, the jump rope babe. I'd like to jump in to our next chat here, Julie. Pretty much your jump rope journey. Uh, as mentioned, we saw you on Instagram last year, right? If I'm not mistaken, it was around April, May. Oliver here suddenly messaged me. We were in the thick of the pandemic during that time, and we were trying to figure out how else we could inspire people. Right, that's why we were able to invent this show. And he told me, "Oh, you better follow this great international jump leader. She does good jumping rope videos." So we started following you. But before we go into that, I want to find out. People would like to find out what was your journey, your fitness journey. Was it jump rope ever since, Julie, or have you tried other sports like uh, uh what running, weightlifting? I don't know. Before ending up with jump rope as your chosen fitness activity.
Yes. So I was never athletic growing up. I was never really into sports. I never liked exercising, and I always felt pretty comfortable in my own skin. So I didn't feel like I needed to work out. Um, but through the years, I mean, I did try a couple of things. So when I was in high
Mhm.
school, I tried tennis one year. I
Wow.
was horrible. I tried track and I quit after 2 weeks because I hated running. I did volleyball one year and I was so bad that I learned to serve over the net like towards the end of the season. I was horrible. And then aside from that, back in like 2015, I was working at a gym temporarily, and so I got like a cheap trainer, somebody who was like training me for not a lot of money, and I got into a little bit of weight training, and I did spinning, which I really did like.
Okay.
But then after some time, I just like stopped, and then when I got to Miami, I wasn't doing any exercising other than just walking. So over here, I walk everywhere where I live. It's very convenient for walking. So especially having my dog, it allows me to like walk all the time. And then I realized like I wanted to do a little bit more. I got to a point where I had gained a little bit of
Mm.
weight, and then I didn't feel comfortable with myself and what I saw in the mirror. So that's when I said I wasn't fitting into my clothes, to be honest with you. But I refused to buy bigger clothes. That was my thing. Like I refused to buy bigger clothes. The moment you buy bigger clothes, you're allowing
Okay.
yourself and your body to grow. So
That's a
my
good tip. That's a good tip there. I like that.
yes. So my thing was like, what am I gonna do? Either I continue down this path and I don't feel good about myself, or I have to figure out a way to get active to hopefully, lose some weight and just be healthy, honestly.
So so
So I
you so you
found
tried you tried so many sports, right, before, and
Yeah.
nothing worked. Tennis, you volleyball, you learned to serve at the end of the season. Track and field, you quit after 2 weeks. So, but you never stopped trying to find out or figure out what would be the best sport for you, right?
Yeah, well, I wasn't like on a quest or on a search to do something athletic, and I'm like, I wasn't looking for something that I would love. I was just looking for a way to be healthier. But
Hmm.
I also, in the past, when I had gone to the gym, I've always tried the elliptical, the treadmill. I tried going on runs, jogs in the neighborhood, and I hated it. It was like so boring. It was,
I can feel you. Yeah, I feel that that
yes.
emotion inside you that you didn't like all these other sports.
Yeah, the time was just like going by so slow, and I was so out of breath, and I'm like, this is awful. I felt like it was torture. How can anybody ever like this? I thought. But I knew that I had to do something. So one day I don't know why, but I thought about doing jump roping, and so I remembered I had an old jump rope in my closet,
Okay.
and I decided to take it out, and it wasn't a nice jump rope. It was a thick cloth rope. I don't even know why those exist, to be honest with you, because they're not good. But I tried it, and I'm like, oh, like this is kind of cool. I'm horrible at it, but it makes the time go by so fast because I'm listening to music and I'm so
Yeah.
focused on trying to not trip that before I know it, I end up like sweating and working out without me even feeling like I'm working out. So I realized I'm like, this is actually kind of cool, but I think I need a better jump rope. And so I went on Amazon and I bought like a little wire rope, which I guess the CrossFit
Okay.
use now. Um, it's like a speed rope, but I tried that and it's not the best rope at all, but like that's how I started progressing. And I was doing a lot better. I was able to have better form. And so that kept me going because I'm like, oh, wow, I'm getting really good at this. This is fun. And I'm getting better and better. So I started to watch videos on like how to do the boxer skip, how to jump rope, how to do, like the basic stuff. And so I just followed up like a couple of things and I started to incorporate like super basic, like basic jump. I started to incorporate the boxer skip.
Uh
And
huh.
once I did that, it just like it kept a progression, After that, you want to do the double unders. How do I do a double
Yeah.
under? And then I stayed very, very basic for like a year, basically, because I didn't know that there were so many tricks and this whole
Okay.
community out here of crazy jumpers. So when I started the page, and I found all these like jump rope accounts, I was like, oh my God, there's so many people doing this and I'm not good at all. Like I thought I was good at first. And I'm like, I don't know anything. Um,
So
so
so Julie, I hope you don't mind. I inject this question in. So you started like everybody else. I mean, um, when I picked it up again after so many years of not picking up a jump rope, I sucked in it. I mean, my legs were. I was folding my legs. I was jumping high. You know, but the one that Direct Nick showed earlier. Direct, can you show that first video that you showed earlier? I noticed here that you were huffing and puffing and you were bending your knees. Was this the rope that you said that you picked up from your closet?
yes, it was. And you can see that like I'm putting like a lot of force on my arms.
Uh huh.
If you have a good jump rope, really you need to rotate the rope with just your wrists. You don't need to move your arms so much. So I'm huffing and puffing because I'm using a lot more energy than I need to, number one. And two, I was at least 20 pounds heavier there than I am now.
Okay.
So
Okay. So you had to start there, stick to the single, the basic skipping rope for about a year before you realized,
yeah.
hey, there's so many
But
tricks.
it was just me, with the jump rope thing. Everybody has their own journey. Everyone has their own like different timeline and abilities. it took me so long because one, I didn't know about all the tricks that you could do.
Okay.
So I wasn't really trying to learn anything else. And two, because I was doing it on my own, I really didn't have any support from other jumpers or the community. I had no idea what was going on. I was just trying to burn a lot of calories in a short amount of time. But then once I started the page, that's when I really got more into it because I'm like, whoa, there's a whole other world out here. There's so many tricks I can learn. And it's just never ending, which is so cool because it's unlike running where you're just trying to run for like longer distance, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Here you have a challenge and like there's always another trick or there's always a way to make that one trick that you learn harder. Either you go backwards or you do a double and it's crazy. Like I'm nowhere near how far. And there's other jumpers who just started out or who have started out after me who I feel
Okay.
have gotten a lot better because it all depends on your time and how much practice you get, you know? So I work full time and it's hard for me to find the time to work out, which is why I really like this because it's something that I could do 10-15 minutes a day. It doesn't require a lot of time and I could still go to work and keep my life. And that's kind of how it started. But now obviously I've spread it into like an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Every day. You do that every day, about an
Yeah.
hour.
No, when I started, I was doing like 20 to 30 minutes, at least like
Okay.
4 to 5 days a week. Then there were some weeks where I did jump like 6 days a week, but then like you
Ooh.
scale back. And for me, it's been kind of, it depends on where I am in life, you know. Sometimes I'm a little bit busier or I have a little bit more going on, so that requires my time. And so I'm not able to jump as much as I would like or work out. So, for example, recently, I haven't been able to jump as much as I would like because I was
Uh-huh.
really focused on getting my apartment and I was going under crazy stress over like personal issues. So I had so much going on and I was so stressed out that I really felt like I couldn't focus so much on the jump rope. However, it's so important because it still kept me sane whenever like
Yeah.
I'm having a bad day or something. I know that I have my jump ropes to go to, even if it's like 10 to 15 minutes. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We're gonna dive into that in a few with regard to how it has helped you mentally and of course obviously physically. But I wanna backtrack a bit. Um how did that jump camp Julie start? Yeah, you mentioned you were a private person, you're not really you're shy in front of the camera, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, on Instagram, here comes Julie, the jump rope babe, jump camp Julie, who who influenced you to start creating a page and influencing people. I mean, you're right. No, we were chatting before we started the show that you never really made videos wherein you would speak, right? It's
Hmm.
just you jumping and skipping and smiling and dancing. Um, what led you there? Who pushed you there? Who gave you the idea to create an IG account and promote jump rope?
Yeah. So, from that first video that you saw me jumping, I guess when I first started, I wanted to kind of check myself, you know, to see how I was doing, my progress. And I started to post. I was actually so bad that I had to speed up the videos so it looked like I was actually doing something because otherwise it was. But I was doing that on my personal page, like on my personal Instagram, where like I only have like my friends, close coworkers, and then when I was doing that, I guess for a little bit of time, my friends and coworkers started to ask me questions, especially when the pandemic started, because now all the gyms were closed. They had to, you know, work out from their home. So they were like, oh my God, Julie, you've inspired me. I want to pick up this jump rope. They started to ask me questions about which jump rope should I buy. And that is why I made that video that's on there actually, because
Uh-huh.
um, that was my first, like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this video. I have no idea what I'm saying, what I'm doing, but everyone keeps asking me about what jump rope to buy, so I'm just going to. So I did that, and then after a little while, when it got to a point where I felt like so many people were asking me about it, I said, I sent a poll in my personal Instagram, and I said, do you think I should start like a jump rope page? And I got 100% response. Everyone was like, yes. And then what also led to it was the fact that I was reading this book. I
Mm.
don't know if you've heard of it. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Sorry.
I haven't, but I will research on that. Okay.
It's a very good book, and it's like life changing because it teaches you about how often we care so much about little things that we should not care about. And that kind of gave me the drive and the force to be like, you know what? You're right. Like, who cares what anybody thinks? Who cares if people don't follow me? Who cares if I look like a fool? Like, I'm just going to do this, like,
Uh-huh.
F it. Like, I'm just going to do it. I have no idea what's going to happen, but let me do it. And I don't have any social media experience. I've never been an influencer before. I've never made videos before. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to do it to help people, to help the people in my community who are asking me for tips and tricks. And I've actually realized along the way that I haven't been doing that as much. Like, I haven't been posting too many tutorials and stuff like that. So that is something that
Uh-huh.
I have in the works and in the plans to start posting more tutorials, more tips and tricks, and kind of go back as to why it is that I started the page.
Oh, nice. I love the story on how you just picked it up and then started that poll and then had that mentality like, I don't care, guys, if you don't like it, for as long as
Yeah.
I get to inspire people. And actually, that's the next question I want to ask you. How does it feel knowing that from that time on that you created the page about April, or even before that, in your own Instagram account, your personal IG account, um, that you've been inspiring and influencing people, not only in the United States. I do believe, as Oliver shared with us earlier, you've inspired people here in Asia and the Philippines, I guess Singapore as well. I know there's Guam, the community there. Uh, did you ever expect this, that Julie, the jump rope babe, will be branching out of the US and
I
touching lives?
honestly thought the only people that were going to follow me were just my friends and my coworkers who were interested in jumping rope. I had no idea there was a huge community of jump ropers, and I guess I got in at a good time, so one of the first ones. And we became this like kind of close-knit community that really helped to propel the page and the movement, because we were, for example, Jump Fest, we were promoting each other's pages, tagging each other. So that really helped to like spread the word. And before I knew it, I had followers, like you said. I noticed I had a lot of followers in the Philippines. I had a lot of followers in the UK.
Uh-huh.
I had followers in Morocco. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, like everywhere. And I'm just like, wow, this is so cool. I never thought I could like make an impact and that I could inspire people from all over the world pretty much. So it feels really rewarding, and it's really nice to know that, like me, I am doing something nice for the people, giving back to the community. So it feels really rewarding to know that I'm doing something good to help people.
We always, this video we're showing right now, for quite a while, we would always wait for your posts, because we, apart from the fact that we like how you skip rope or jump rope, we also like the scenery or the places that you choose to do your videos, right?
Mhm.
And you shared with me that this was your old unit in the same building, but we would sometimes see you go out like to the beach or outdoor area. And do you plan these things when you do your videos, like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go to this part of Miami or this part of the beach or this part of the city and do my jump rope there?
No. So most of the time when I do film is just when I'm working out. When I do venture out into like a nice area, it's either, I mean, it's been either I'm going on a walk near the neighborhood and I bring
Uh-huh.
the jump rope with me, or I have like a couple of videos that I've been shooting with cross ropes. And so for those, I do plan to go to these specific locations, and then I'll just take like a quick video there. I always say I'm going to carry my jumper with me all the time, but I always forget it, so I never do. But that's the good thing about living in Miami, is that there's so many beautiful locations and it's beautiful everywhere, that there's, if I'm outside, I'm bound to get a good backdrop.
We love it. Really. All the while I thought you had your own crew behind you, like you had a director or a producer for that, because fantastic shots. And I think that's one reason why a lot of people also follow you, apart from the fact that you're good in skipping rope or jumping rope, right? It's the places that you go to, and it's a breath of fresh air to see different areas in Miami. In fact, before we jump into the next, I would like to ask if you could do a shout out to all the Filipino fans watching you right now, your followers from the Philippines who are
Sure.
hearing Julie for the first time.
I just want to say thank you so much for following me. If you've been with me from the beginning, I'm so thankful. I think it's a really great opportunity for me to connect with you guys. Feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions. If you want me to watch your jumper video and maybe to repost you. I always love to see people like actually getting engaged and doing the jumps. So thank you so much for your support and for following me and my journey. Thank you.
All right. We saw in your videos that you have this nice red headphones, part of the getup. Where is that right now? Is it still alive? It's still working, and
It's
oh my goodness, what happened there?
so my dad was here 2 weeks, no, like a week ago. He just left, but he was here for like 2 weeks, and he asked me to let him borrow headphones so he could go to the gym. And so he went and used them one time and came back with them broken.
What happened? Did he drop it?
I think he dropped them. I'm not sure. Oh, I think because these, they get folded, right?
Uh-huh.
I think he wasn't sure how to work them, and then maybe like put them in the wrong side. I don't know. But then he tried to glue them with Gorilla Glue, and that didn't work either. But now they still work. Like, you can hear the music, but they just don't stay on my head. They look really weird. So, yeah, I have to get a new pair of headphones. I've actually been missing them for jumping because I can't even use the ones with the wire because I can't hold the phone while I'm jumping. So
Share this recording.
Any recommendations for headphones, please send them my way.
Share this video or this show, recording of this show, to your dad, and I bet you once he watches it, you'll probably get a new one very soon. So
I mean, I already told him. I said, Dad, I've had these headphones for 7 years, and you borrowed them one time, and they're broken. Yes.
Okay. I'm sure Daddy will replace that. Oh, we'll move on to the next part of our chat here. Because obviously right now, from the being the quiet Julie looking for a nice fitness activity, you found skip rope, and then your friends, your followers told you, Julie, why not create your own jump rope Instagram? And you did, and then all of a sudden, boom, Morocco, Guam, Singapore, Philippines, you're influencing people. Beautiful way of celebrating diversity, right? Influencing people from different areas, and you're now, as Oliver would put it, international jump leader. As I would put it, a social media influencer, an ambassador for jump rope and even cross rope. You're endorsing them right now. Let's go to the benefits of jump rope. A little bit serious here. you mentioned that in the first video that we showed earlier, when you were bending your knees and huffing and puffing, you were 20 pounds heavier. So you had a battle with losing weight before, and how did you deal with it? How did you find? How did you say, I'm going to stick with the skip rope? It's going to help me lose or shed weight that I want to, pounds that I want to shed, and how has it helped you in that part of staying fit?
Yes. So when I went into it, my main goal wasn't to lose weight. It was just, I knew that I wanted to lose weight, but that wasn't my main goal. My main goal was just to start to be healthier, to start a healthier habit. And so I started with 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. And once I started to really like it, I found myself jumping for 20 to 30 minutes because the time was just going by so fast. Because I started doing it so much, I started to really see progress. And at first, it wasn't the weight itself, but more how my body looked. So I was taking progress pictures every couple of weeks, and I could see that that I was making progress. I'm like, wow, my body looks so different. I look a lot more toned. And I think it took me maybe like 2 months when I remember I was going out to like a work happy hour, and I put on this shirt and pants, and I remember feeling like I felt so good in what I was wearing, and I was like, oh my god, like I can see the progress, like this is so cool, it's actually paying off. And of course, once you feel that, like at first you're the only one that sees the progress, nobody else sees it. So it's all internal motivation, like internal. You're looking at yourself and you're doing this for you. And people on the outside might not really understand, and they just think like, oh, she's just like talking about jump ropes all the time, like whatever. But then after, like as I kept going, I started to really see the change in my body. And I also added strength training because I wanted to also get stronger. In the beginning, I was doing mainly jumping and then with a little bit of strength training. So because the jumping, it helps to burn a lot of calories in a short amount of time. And like I said before, since I'm on a short schedule, I'm always running. So I'm like, I have to find something that's quick and fast. And that's what jumping rope did for me. So I was burning crazy calories. And before I knew it, I had this new body that I felt so good about myself. And I lost like all this weight. And then other people started to notice. And then they started to tell me, oh my God, Julie, you look so good. You look amazing. This jump rope thing is awesome. I want to do it too. Like, how do I do it? And of course, when you hear that, it motivates you more because you're like, wow, like, thank you so much. Like, other people are noticing this. Like, I feel so good. And then after that, I'm like, you know what? I really want other people to feel the same way that I feel. Like, I want other people to experience what I went through. And I was thinking earlier that, your weight or how you look, it's all your perception, right? It's not how you look, but it's how you feel.
How you feel, yes.
Yeah. So even though I wasn't super big, and let's say I haven't lost 100 pounds in my journey, I didn't feel comfortable where I was at that point. Whereas there's other people that may be a little bit bigger than me and they feel comfortable and happy with themselves, So it's really all your perception and how you feel. But so once I started to feel better about myself, like when I was looking at myself in the mirror and getting all these compliments, I said, you know what? I want other people to feel that way. And maybe they don't need to be overweight, maybe there are people just like me, who were just gained a little bit of weight, or they just want to tone their body. They're not athletic. They've never done sports before. So I thought that if I could share my story, I could motivate people who were just like me, and just to get them to be active. And hopefully, if they continue and stay consistent, they can really begin to see the change in themselves. And adding on to that, once you start to feel good about yourself, that's when your whole mentality starts to change too, right? That's when you
Yeah.
start feeling better. So your mental
Yeah.
health starts to improve as well, because all of a sudden you're not looking in the mirror and thinking like, oh my God, I'm so fat. I don't like how I look. Now you're like, wow, I love how I look. This is great. I'm so happy. And it just like honestly changes your mindset so much that it's really rewarding. And I just want other people to know that they can do it too, and that they can have these feelings as well.
I like how you put everything there on the line there, Julie. How you phrased it, how it has helped you, because you said different people, different sizes, different goals, different objectives, and though some people may be a little bit bigger than others, it's not about the pounds, right? It's
Mhm.
how it makes you feel when you see progress in what you do.
Exactly.
And you said compliments left and right, people noticing it, and it makes you feel good. And I guess it adds to that mental thing, right? Because you touched on that uh in the last part of your sharing. I'd like to dive more into that. During the pandemic, we were all stuck inside, or the peak of the pandemic, we're all stuck inside our respective homes. You were stuck inside your condo, your veranda there, or your balcony there, before you were able to go out. Really, you were sheltering in place. Um, I'm sure, right? I'm sure that questions were running inside your mind. How long is this gonna be? I'm young. I can't be stuck inside the house. How was jumping rope or skipping rope help you address that? Because we were chatting before we went live that people are going through tough times, right? Mentally,
Hmm.
people are unfortunately, some people have hurt themselves. Real talk, some people have taken their lives, and all because of what this pandemic has brought to them mentally.
Hmm.
In your opinion, in your experience, how has it helped you keep your sanity in check, in place, especially during this time?
Yes. So I'm actually very lucky, because I have to say that since I started the jumping like a year before the pandemic hit, I started to already um, get better mentally, prior to the pandemic. So I was already like working towards putting my head into like a better place.
Uh-huh.
I've also started reading a lot of like self-help books, books that just motivate you and to basically tell you that you are in competition with yourself, and that you need to do your best every day to become the best version of you. The quickest way for you to feel better, to put yourself in a better place, is to remind yourself of all the good things that you do have in life, and to be thankful every day for the things that you do have. Focus on what you do have rather than what you don't have.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of started this work a little bit before. However, when I was during the quarantine and like right before that, I was experiencing anxiety. I think I told you before.
Yeah.
But it was because of a medicine that I was taking, that the dosage was too high. So that was causing me to feel like I was having a heart attack. And
Wow.
yeah, so I ended up going to the urgent care. I went to the emergency room at a different occasion just for them to check, because I had no idea what was going on. I
Yeah.
kept feeling weird. And then every time I'd go to the doctor, they would just tell me like, no, you're fine. You're fine. It's just like anxiety. So they'd give me like like an anti-anxiety med to calm down or whatever. Um, but I was scared. And then because I was feeling so weird and I thought I was having a heart attack, I'm like, what am I going to do? Luckily, I got the whole situation resolved through the medicine and whatever.
Hmm.
But because I was having the anxiety, I also started to do meditation as a way to calm myself and relax. especially during the quarantine, right? Because I was alone, and I was alone for 2 months. Basically, I had zero human interaction.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, for 2 months, and I really did uh, stay in place, or
Sheltering in place. Yeah.
I really did shelter in place. I didn't go out. I didn't see any of my friends. I would only go to the supermarket because I was scared. I would only go to the supermarket and come back. So I didn't see my friends for a while.
Mhm.
And then, kind of after 2 months of being alone, and that's when I felt like, okay, I think I need like a hug, like I need human interaction. So I'm very fortunate that I do have a family, and even though they are in New York, I drove myself because I was scared to take the airplane. So
Uh-huh.
I grabbed my dog, I packed my car, and we drove 24 hours
All the way to New York.
all the way to New York last summer, just so I could be with my family. And then once I was there with my family, obviously, like, things get a little better because you have the support of your family. But really important, what really, really has helped me has been the self work that I've been doing myself, like
Mm.
doing the meditations, learning about, your mindset, how you should be thinking. The words that you say to yourself really matter.
Yeah.
And then to be thankful and blessed every day for the smallest things. So, like, the first thing I do when I wake up, even
Yeah.
when I'm in my bed and I haven't gotten up yet, I'm just like, thank you, God, for giving me another day of life. And because I'm waking up in this bed and in like a nice room, because when I go downstairs and walk my dog, I see a bunch of homeless people. And when you
Yeah.
put that into perspective, it's like, okay, my life is not so bad. So it
Yep.
it kind of like reminds you, like, don't complain about like the smallest little things in life. I'm thankful that I have all the basic necessities in life plus more.
Yeah.
And especially right now when there's so many things going on in the world, and like you're saying that you guys are on crazy lockdown, and
Yeah.
then you have the situation that's going on in Afghanistan right now.
Yep.
So there's so many people in India, the pandemic is crazy and there's a lot of poverty. So when I put myself in that perspective, it makes me really thankful and blessed. And it just reminds me every day. And I also feel that even if maybe you're not in the same situation as me, you're maybe in the Philippines and you don't have access to everything, you have your health, right? You have your health, which is super important. And so just be thankful every day. Thank goodness right now, yes, I may be locked down in this house, but I have my health. And with my health, I'm able to do some jump rope. I'm able to work out. I'm able to read, do little things like that other people are not so fortunate to have. So,
Wow. I like how you shared that thought of yours, and that's right. You're stuck at home. You have a small space, an ample space. In your case, you get your cross rope. In the Philippines, in case you're looking for a nice skip rope, you can go to Skipples. Fantastic. All right. Skip Mat Pro as well. Oliver will be able to share that a little bit later on how you can avail of those uh, tools for jumping rope. You mentioned that you were not going out so much, but you were just going to the supermarket or the grocery just to buy the necessities. I got a text here from my friend. Shy to put the comments here on our live show. The question here, and I will say it in English, is: do you have a special diet that goes with your daily skip rope regimen? Because is it just all exercise, or do you follow a particular meal plan?
I don't follow a meal plan and I don't go on diets.
Wow. Okay.
The things that I said, I always say it on my page. Um, I'm a very picky eater. So before getting into fitness, I would only eat kind of like kids menu food, fried food, pizza, burgers, French fries, whatever. But obviously, if you want to lose weight, you do have to start incorporating a little bit of healthier meals. So
Yeah.
what I did was, instead of just cutting out like all of the stuff that I liked, I just said I'm just going to incorporate a couple of like healthier options here and there, like substitute. But I'm not going to change how I eat. So I eat whatever I want whenever I want, but I do try to incorporate healthier meals here and there. So something that was really easy for me is smoothies for in the morning. So I stopped having like eggs and arepas, which is like a common Colombian
Say it again. I love how you said that.
arepas.
Oh, nice. Very very nice. Love the
um,
accent.
so I stopped doing that for a bit. I started doing just like smoothies in the morning for breakfast, incorporating more fruit. And then like I make like a salad, which is just like the few veggies that I like. So because I'm not like, I don't like to eat so many things. I have to be very specific as to what I put. But if I eat that for, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week, then I feel good because I'm like, at least I did something. Now that
Why don't you post that on Instagram too? You know what Julie eats. I have a good
there's
feeling that
there's a
people will like
highlight.
that.
There's a highlight that says food, and in there you'll see like the salads and the stuff that I make.
Oh, nice. Okay. So we'll check on that.
Yeah. But now that I've gotten more into fitness and health and wellness, obviously I know that I have to, eat healthier, incorporate healthier meals. But at the end of the day, like I said, I will still eat whatever I want when I want because I
I
just
love that.
I just feel that if you want to have something that's sustainable, you have to make it something that you like. You can't if you have a diet, it's never going to work, right? Because the moment you stop the diet, boom, you gain the weight right back. So
Right back.
so
Exactly.
when people start cutting out food or calories, you're like depriving yourself and then you're miserable. And then the moment you start eating again, you gain weight and you're miserable again. So for me is if I just eat whatever I like, but in small quantities, right? Like portion control, then I can eat whatever and I don't have to worry about, oh, I can't eat that, or oh no, I'm on a diet, I can't eat the pizza, I can't have a beer. Like, no. If I want to have the whole pizza, I'm going to eat the whole pizza.
That's real talk. That's real talk there. I mean, not depriving yourself. We've always heard that you are what you eat, right? But I like your game plan. It's in moderation. It's not really depriving yourself, but having that sense of control, right? In
Yeah,
making
like
sure that
even ice cream, for example, right? I can have ice cream every day, but it'll be like 2 little spoonfuls, like just so I can have the taste, and then that's it.
can you have a spoon this big so that okay. I'm gonna bring in Oliver here because we had a good chat already of your background on how skip rope has entered your life, and part of our discussion earlier as we started the show was the community, right? How the jump rope community has evolved, how you have inspired Julie, Filipinos and other nationalities as well with regard to this sport. And Oliver here, the man behind JumpFest PH. So I'll keep both guests, all right, uh, in this portion here, because I'd like to alternate the two of you. It's I know we're an hour into it. We'll probably go about an hour 15 in this show. I hope you guys can stay with us. Julie, I hope you can spare more 15 minutes more with us here. Oliver,
Yes.
in your case, okay, during the pandemic, I know you started JumpFest PH last year when we started. What's the story behind it? What pushed you to put up JumpFest PH before we dive into you discovering or finding out Julie and all the other communities? What's the story behind JumpFest PH, Oliver?
Well, the story behind Jumpfest PH, Shiki, is like when we have the lockdown, no. So that was in March and then April. So during that period, I observed that nothing is really happening. I mean, we used to go to a lot of sporting events like fun runs, triathlon, cycling, and swimming events. So I just thought of why not come up with an activity that can really address the lockdown issues, like staying home, and then having social distancing requirement. So well, I first thought of jump rope to be just a short challenge, and then
Mm-hmm.
when we started Jump Fest, and then the response was really massive. You know, a lot of people, especially Filipinos, are really wanted to know or to learn the basic of jump rope. That's why I have Jump Manila, Erwin Nang. So thank you
Yes,
for
of course.
supporting our season. We have these season challenges, the virtual challenges, and the good thing about the challenges is we started on the basic stuffs, like basic jumps, doing it like consistently on a 30 non-stop single unders. That's
Uh-huh.
how we started. But looking right now, with the vision of inspiring people to begin their fitness journey, you'll see a lot of high-skilled Filipino jumpers. So iba na yung level natin. We have an international level skill, or the skill level that we have is that we can really compete, or the kind of skills that we exhibit right now. It's something that can really, be proud of. We can really be proud of the Filipino jumpers. So, and we have a lot of community. So for Jump Fest, as a team, as a group, we are proud that we have inspired a lot of people, and we keep on
Mm-hmm.
telling our Jump fam, or the Jump family that we have,
Jump fam, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
through our communities, especially our community. The biggest one that we have is the Philippine Jump Rope fitness community. Uh, and of course, we have pocket communities. We have Jump Makati, Jump QC, Jump
Oh, wow.
Marikina Soul Skippers. We have Jump Muntinlupa, Parañaque. We have Bulacan. We have Davao. And we have Guam. So we have Guam. We have Middle East.
And Singapore, right? You mentioned
Yeah,
Singapore too, right?
Singapore. We have a lot of pocket communities. So all of us being into this kind of jump rope thing, I guess we're really into this goal of inviting or inspiring people, especially this time of pandemic, as Julie was saying earlier, that we really
Uh-huh.
have to stay fit and of course mentally healthy. So
Mm-hmm.
for us to keep sane and healthy this time of lockdown pandemic.
You mentioned the challenges. Julie, you joined some of those, right? The JumpfestPH challenges, right? I would see you, and you would post on your page Filipinos who would be doing tricks or challenges, right?
Yes. So basically, I think I did one, maybe two.
Yeah.
I just came up with a little routine. Again, I've never done any choreography or anything like that. So when he asked me to do this, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? But I did it, and it was really cool to see other people like doing what I did and following my lead. So that was awesome.
I like that. And Oliver, you mentioned a lot of pocket communities. Shout out to PJRC, Philippine Jump Rope Fitness Community, right? Jump Manila, awesome job, Erwin. You've inspired a lot of people. I want to say hello to the Jump Rope Dads. Did you know, Julie, that we have
Yes,
this
jump.
community? It's called Jump Rope Dads. Daddies who picked up the jump rope, and the beautiful thing about that page, or those jump rope dads, is just like what you said. It doesn't matter if you're like a model or an athlete, or you're a little bit on the heavy side. They don't really care. In jump rope dads, they don't care if you're wearing a basketball jersey, or a running jersey, or no jersey at all, just shorts. And if you have that dad bod, they don't mind. They will not discriminate. And that's one thing I want to ask Oliver, because one thing that got me hooked into JumpFest PH, and also following you, Julie, was that I did get the feeling of being alienated. I didn't get the feeling that I'm joining something that's only for a specific group of people. You know what I mean? Like this, the feeling I got when I followed JumpFest PH and you and Jump Rope Dads and even Jump Manila was that it's a friendly community. that
Yeah.
I will be welcomed um with open arms. Julie and Oliver, do you feel the same way about the community? I'll start with Julie before I go to Oliver.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, when I started the page, I found all these different jump rope pages of jump ropers who were a lot more advanced and skilled than I was, and they welcomed me with open arms. And I still see it to this day. Literally, anybody who picks up a jump rope and starts reaching out to us and showing us their videos, we are all so happy just to see them trying out. Like, I think the main goal of the jump rope community on Instagram now is just to inspire as many people as we can to pick up a
Yeah.
jump rope, spread the love and positivity. We're all very happy for one another, and we're pushing one another to do and be better. So it is a very welcoming community, and I've never really seen anything like that on Instagram. I don't know if it's just like a jump rope thing, but I've never seen it before. So, and everyone's so nice. So.
I love that. Oliver, in your end, I'm gonna reiterate it because I would see again from jump rope dads, they're smiling, they're laughing. It's difficult when you see an athlete with the eyebrows meeting in the middle and so dead serious, right, in doing something, and you're gonna tell yourself, no, this is not for me. But check this out. Look at this.
Yeah.
Different shapes, different sizes, different attires, and yet they're having fun. They're flying, they're enjoying, and then it's good vibes. I would say it's good vibes. Oliver, has this been the objective of JumpFest PH from day one? Just to be good
Yes.
vibes community. It's from for all ages, all genders, kids, adults. For as long as you can jump, one jump to as many as 1,000 jumps. That's fine, right?
Yes, yes. Our community is very inclusive, and we support each other, as what Sheila is just said right now, no, in our live chat. So we support each other. We encourage everyone. One thing that has resulted from this objective is we have now pocket communities. So before we used to only have one jump session on our partner mall or venue, but right now through the help of jump rope dads, through the help of other communities or jump leaders, we have like the likes of Muntinlupa, Makati, QC, Marikina. We have other international,
Uh huh.
foreign communities like Guam, London. We have Middle East, Singapore, and we also have in Malaysia. So having this a lot of communities coming together as one family, we call it as Jam family. You really observe the kind of sport or fitness thing that we have right now. It's very inclusive and very supportive on each other. And right now we see a lot of celebrities also joining the fun
Uh huh.
of this jump rope exercise or jump rope thing. So we're happy. We're happy. Hoping that we will continue to grow, and hopefully by next month we're going to have our actual jump rope session. So we're hoping or we're looking forward to that.
Well, I'm doing a shout out again to Jump Rope Dads. If you're looking for a nice jump rope online show, they have their own online show, the Jump Rope Dads. So catch them. It's fun, very laid back, chill online
Yes.
show. So catch them. Okay. Oliver, quickly before I go to a favorite segment, I prepared this and I asked Julie if she could do it, and she said yes. Quickly, what's next for JumpFest PH? Would you like to tickle our imagination and share with us? Do we have any online activities or any events if the restrictions improve in the next coming months? Do we have a nice activity for JumpFest PH?
Well, to all of our Jam fam or followers of Jumpest, please continue on checking us out on our Facebook page and Instagram. Currently, we have a lot of virtual challenges as shared by other Jam fam, especially Skipman. And coming maybe in weeks or next month, we're going to have
Uh-huh.
our actual jump rope session in Manila.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we have a new partner and another one in South again. And
Nice.
we're preparing on something big. Hope you guys you can support us. We just can't announce it right now, but it's going to be a global thing. So we're preparing and we're expecting you guys to support this because this is going to represent not just JumpFest but the whole country. So,
I love it.
that's the existing challenge now, or it was posted last night by
Foot
Skip Map.
loose challenge.
Yes.
Nice. So a lot of things happening for JumpfestPH. Make sure that you follow their social media accounts and with that big smile of Oliver, something big happening. I believe you. So
Yes.
he doesn't want to divulge it. I have an idea already, but stay tuned for that. Okay. Shout out to Ricky Halasan of Trinix. Thank you for watching. Jason Kingtan, thank you again, sir. My wife Lala Reyes is enjoying the sharing of Julie here. Jump rope dads. I know. If you haven't followed them, please do so. Sheila, thank you for sharing that nice thought of yours. Jason Kingtan again, jump rope community. They convert anxiety and depression into healthy diversion. I agree with you, Jason. I agree with you 100%. And you know how else you could uh, be inspired and have this diversion, healthy diversion? We're going to our next segment because this next segment is what I call Jump Rope 101. That's right. Our special guest from Miami will stand up from her chair, walk a few steps back, pick up that cross rope that she has because we're going to have a live demonstration here. Okay, I'm going to put some nice background music here. So, Julie, okay, I don't know where to start, but probably Jump Rope 101, basic. Show us a couple of single unders here. How you do it? You can talk while give us probably a lecture. Go ahead.
Can you see me and hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I guess to start, the first thing that you want to do is measure your rope so that it's good enough for you. They say the standard is to stand up with one foot and kind of hold up the handles. The handles should go about your armpit length.
Okay.
Now, once you start getting more comfortable, it will be better for you to start shortening the rope. For example, the handle was here, but if I cut the handles off, my rope is really like about my waist length. I knotted my rope to make it a little bit shorter. So you can start with this as a base, but once you start getting a little bit better, you'll want to shorten your rope a little bit because it'll give you more control. And then to do the single under, the first thing that you do is you can practice without the rope. And what I like to do is kind of like with my hands do this, so you know when to jump. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once you do that, you grab your rope. And before you start jumping, you want to make sure that the rope is going to go underneath your feet. So it's called the toe catch. So you go across and you catch it with your feet, just to make sure that the rope is kind of where you need to go. So you can do that a couple of times. 1, 2, 3, and then going back to that motion. So once you're ready, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another thing to mention is that your elbows should kind of be going back, so you'll have like a really straight posture. That's a great benefit of jumping rope. I had really bad posture before I started, and because you're in this position, it helps you to put your shoulders back. So you're going to align your arms and your elbows kind of close to your body, but tuck them back. Like tuck them back a little bit. And then when you're rotating the rope, you'll see that I'm rotating just with my wrist, not with whole arms. So a typical mistake from beginners is that we do this with our arms, right?
Yeah.
And then you also have to remember the rope is only like this thick, so you only need to jump like only a little bit on your tippy toes. Once you have those basics down, you can rotate just with your wrist. So you see I'm barely moving my arms, and I'm barely jumping off the ground. When you do that, you exert less energy, so it allows you to go for a little bit longer.
Wow.
That's the basic jump. And then if you want to do the boxer skip, which This is one of my favorites because it allows you to look cool, but be able to have for a long time. So what you're doing is you're switching the weight of your body. I'm putting all of my weight on my left foot right now, and then I
Okay.
switch to my right. I switch and I switch, so like that. And every time I jump, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just switching the weight of my body from one leg to another.
But is it pretty much the same principle as the basic single under, right? It's just
so
changing your footwork.
Correct. So your body, your posture is all the same. You're rotating the rope with your wrist. Everything is exactly the same. The only difference is that instead of just going straight up and down, now you're switching back and forth.
Nice. Okay, nice. How about the double under? How do you do that before?
The double under, that one's a little bit more advanced. But basically, what you do is every time that you're going to jump, that's when you do a little like flick of the wrist, like extra power, and then it gives enough power so that you only have to flick it once, and then the second rotation goes with the with the power of the rope. So I have to.
So the second rotation is just the momentum of the rope.
What I was looking for. Yes, the momentum.
So you say you just flick it harder the first time.
So I'm going like this, and now, like really fast.
So not really flicking it twice, but flicking it
Just
extra hard.
Kind of like 1, 2, 3, and that strength power, it gives them a second rope.
Okay. All the while, I thought. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I call myself a forever newbie in the skip rope, but I would try to flick my wrist twice.
Yeah, so that's like a really big mistake. In the beginning, I thought so too. I'm like, how can I go that fast? I'm like, you can't.
Yeah.
So it's really one time, and you do it when you're jumping, and you have to jump a little bit higher to allow the ropes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. Now, last before you sit down, what is Julie's go-to sequence or go-to movement? I mean, I'm sure you have a go-to routine. You don't have to do the 30-minute routine, but at least show us some of your go-to. You know what? When you wake up, I feel good. I want to start my day right. This is my go-to routine to get my juices flowing before I go to work. What would that be, Julie?
So I don't really think about or plan like a routine, so I just kind of go with the flow. But
Freestyle, okay?
But the ones that I usually go to are what I just demonstrated, which is like the boxer skip, and then I'll go a little bit like Chinese, and then I'll incorporate some crosses.
Woo.
Then I can do some double unders to burn extra calories, and then I'll just continue to do little tricks here and there as like they come up, and that's it.
Woo! You may sit down already. You may sit down. I don't want to tire you too much. That's just a teaser, ladies and gentlemen. Single under, double under, cross, doing it sideways. And reason why I ask you that, would you have any online sessions, Julie? Would you have any tutorials, or are you waiting for them to ask you, or would there be a Jump Camp Julie show
I don't have a show.
happening soon?
No, but I have put out very few tutorials because I also feel like there's so many people putting out their own tutorials that I feel like I could just guide people to those tutorials instead of like having to shoot my own,
Mm-hmm.
But I do plan on starting to create a little bit more of like teaching content and stuff like that.
Fantastic. So for those of you who'd like to ask Julie, again, the Instagram handle is jump_camp_Julie. Okay. Please. I was able to see that page, less than 1,000. After a year, it's over 17,000 already and counting. So, just so you'd know, I reached out to Julie via Instagram direct message and asked her, and I was so surprised that she said yes to guest on this show. This was over a year in the making. So many things happened from May until August of 2021, and good thing that Julie said yes. So thank you for that demo, and wow, good things have must come to an end as well. We are 1 hour 20 to the show, and we're in this portion. We're gonna have to let you guys go because I know it's 9:22 in the evening in Miami, and you have to rest and enjoy your weekend. I'm sure you're gonna look for some nice uh activity area tomorrow to do your skip rope as well.
I have work. I have to go to the office.
You have work tomorrow on a Saturday.
Tomorrow's
Okay.
Friday.
Oliver and I. That's right. It's Friday. That's right. So Oliver and I will be enjoying the next edition of our lockdown tomorrow with everybody else. We're gonna let you guys go soon, but before doing that, serious stuff now. Um, Philippines, Julie, we're still on lockdown. You said Miami cases are still increasing up there. People from different areas watching us right now. Would like to hear from you guys. Your final message to all our viewers watching us, whether in the Philippines or in the US or any other area, before we part ways. Oliver, I'll start with you before I go to Julie. Go ahead, Oliver.
Okay, my message to our viewers, please do support Jamfest and of course Cheeky, Sports Lock and Loaded, and Julie. And if you're looking for a good exercise at this pandemic time, you can check our page Instagram, JumpfestPH, and of course our Facebook page, same name, JumpfestPH. And we have a lot of video highlights and showcasing Filipino talents. And of course, we also have tutorials. And you can also follow or you can check other um, Filipino skippers or jumpers there. Then they can give you some serious stuff. So again, please do support us and keep inspiring people. Help us on keep inspiring people, and please stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Oliver Salas, man behind JumpFest PH, and of course our very special guest all the way from Miami, Florida, Julie. Would like to hear from you. Final message.
Yeah, so final message would be to try to stay as positive as you can. I know that it's difficult at times, but to remember and think about the things that you do have rather than what you don't have. So remain thankful, grateful every day. And then to just always try to be a better you. Do something or find something that you like. Even if it's just maybe picking up and reading a book, if that book is teaching you something, you're bettering yourself already. So if you take small, simple steps every day to improve yourself, and especially with jumping rope, let's say you want to start with 5 minutes a day, then 6 minutes a day, and slowly progress to 15 minutes a day. Small little changes will compound over time and will bring you results. So if you just stay consistent and don't compare yourself to anybody else, you're in competition with yourself and no one else. Everyone has their own journey and their own timeline. So even though you may see some people who are advancing a lot faster than you, do not let that get in the way of you doing what you like. Just keep doing you.
Thank you very much, Julie. And wow, 1 hour 25. I'm gonna let our guests go, but as mentioned, Julie and Oliver, please remain in the virtual backstage. After this show, we'll have a very, very quick chat before I let you go, really, and prepare, and Julie, for you to rest. I know you have a long day tomorrow, Friday for you. Okay, thank you guys. I'll put you in the background first. I'm gonna end the show saying thank you to all our guests. Thank you to Julie. Thank you to Oliver. Thank you to JumpFest PH, PJRC. Shout out to all the jump rope communities, jump dad bods. Tama ba? Oh, yan no. And lahat po ng sumusubaybay at sumusunod. Jump rope dads. Yung pala, jump rope dads. Thank you for being with us as well. Gatorade, Sir Mikey, Melai, and Marsha, thank you for supporting Sports Locked and Loaded. And to all our friends out there here in the Philippines, I know we're going MECQ tomorrow. We're not yet out of the woods. please make sure that you stay safe and stay home, stay healthy, because this is not yet over. And together we can beat this. Of course, we can beat this together. Next show, August 27, next Friday. We'll tell you what sport, what time. Please do follow us. We'll be announcing it on our Facebook page. Please do follow us and like our page. All right. On behalf of my director, Nick Earnshaw, our special guests, Oliver Salas and Julie, the Jump Rope Babe. My name is Chicky Reyes, saying thank you for watching the 43rd episode of Sports Locked and Loaded. And as I would always end, please stay safe, stay home, pray, stay healthy, and stay locked and loaded. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.